Well, it's back to school day for Hjalti. You can bet I'll be making some classy puns about that. Lead on, Pointy. So, I've made a momentous decision, which is that I will be using alteration spells in this game. I don't believe that's truly optimal. I think that they're generally... the earlier ones are bad enough that it's not really worth the wait for the excellent later ones. But I think I'll have more fun showing you off like a more well-rounded mage who uses all schools of magic, so I will continue to use those. Hjalti is very excited to meet this Mirabelle Irvine, because it sounds like she's a Breton from her name for starters, not one of the snooty high elves. And furthermore, it sounds like she's very high up in the organization, so a great contact for him to make early. Here's the spectacular and iconic College of Winterhold building. One of the more memorable parts of Skyrim really is this site for the first time. Much more so than the Arcane University in Oblivion or Telvanni Towers in Morrowind and so forth. But the inside doesn't really live up to that, or even really seem to match up to it at a basic level. Like, all these basement layers are basically not there. Well, in we go. Need to find Mirabelle Irvine, whoever that is. Hopefully she's around here somewhere. Wonder who that crazy fellow is just staring off in the distance there. Probably nobody important. Oh! Thalmor. I'll just lurk here and listen to the conversation while pretending to look up at this pretty cool statue of a mage here, illuminated by this neat but useless blue pool. Does absolutely nothing. That's reassuring.
You are a guest of the college, here at the pleasure of the Archmage. I hope you appreciate the opportunity.
Yes, of course. The Archmage has my thanks.
Very good. Then we're done here.
Excellent. Hopefully he'll walk inside, and I can talk to this person and find out who Mirabelle Irvine is. As it happens, it's her, and I somehow know that in character. Oh, he's glitching going through the door. Fine.
Welcome to the college.
Somehow I know who she is.
Another new student. I'm surprised at how many of you there are lately.
I'm surprised at how few. There's 4 total, counting me. That means we're outnumbered like 3 to 1 by the professors. Kinda silly. So she gives you a pretty good set of initial mage clothes. It's equal to what I currently have, so I won't be switching up to it. Hjalti is actually tired and would rather not do this, but he's not going to look weak in front of her.
Don't wander off. The College of Winterhold has been a fixture in Skyrim for thousands of
But they just made it up for this game, so it has no background. That's this building here. They only have 3 buildings. They didn't really do much of the inside. The Hall of the Elements, Hall of Attainment over there for students, Hall of Accountants over there for professors.
While technically in charge of the college, the Archmage's responsibilities often keep him occupied. Thus, I run the day-to-day operations.
This, of course, is the excuse for me doing no work as Archmage later on. So, here we go, walking very slowly. Really adds a whole sense of excitement to this quest to be barely moving for so much of it. This is one of the better guild questlines in Skyrim. And yes, I will call it the Mage's Guild questline out of laziness, even though it's College of Winterhold, not the Mage's Guild. But it's pretty weak compared to a lot of previous games. Like in Oblivion, the best part of the game were the Mage's Guild questline and the Dark Brotherhood questline, probably. But in this game, all the guild questlines are pretty terrible. This is the best one of them, and it's just so-so. Luckily, the rest of the game makes up for it.
After I finish showing you the grounds, we can talk.
One of the big problems is so much time is spent in either boring conversations or slow walking around. There's the College of Winterhold symbol up there. Not really explored what it means.
I'll ask that you please keep your voice down while inside, as others may be working on research or delicate experiments.
Intriguing. Hjalti, of course, went to the College of Whispers, where there wasn't really much magic study going on there. It was more about politics and intrigue. So the idea of people around here actually learning new magic sounds interesting to him. You might find out some cutting-edge stuff he doesn't know yet.
Now up to your quarters. You're going to be sharing with your fellow apprentices, who you'll meet shortly.
This is a sumptuous room, except for this goat head, which will have to go.
Please try and be considerate of others. Now, let's go back to the Hall of the Elements, where most of the members gather for lectures and study sessions.
Hjalti would really rather stay here and rest, but fine. In here, you really want to detect light so you can find people who are lurking around. It's so hard to find them otherwise, all these nooks and crannies they can hide behind. Alright, more slow walking to come.
Initially, you'll be learning from Tolfdir, one of our esteemed wizards.
Tolfdir is a major character in this questline, and pretty memorable. All the professors have different, fun, interesting personalities, which is great. Good character building there. But none of them have any kind of background whatsoever, and that is a huge waste. I mean, these are the most powerful wizards in all of Skyrim. They should be important, they should have stories to them, but they don't. Nobody's heard of them, nothing. Big waste opportunity. Savos Aaron has a little bit of a background, but not much of one. It doesn't even fit his personality, so again, a waste.
Tolfdir is likely already addressing the new apprentices. Go on in, and if you have any problems, let one of our senior members know.
Luckily, he's easy to find because I was given no description of him. But he's Skyrim's best alteration master. A lot of people in there. And they're all alive. When you live in Saarthal, you're going to check people for vampirism, especially in the Mages Guild.
Welcome, welcome. We were just beginning. Please, stay and listen.
So here's Tolfdir and the 3 other students.
As I was saying, the first thing to understand is that magic is, by its very nature, volatile and dangerous. Unless you can control it, it can and...
So this is a slow, boring class lecture. Now, I don't really object to having one of those. It seems, appropriate. The Thalmor is watching us. What I object to is that we don't have more of them going on in the background. I mean, this is a college. There should be more students, not just the 3 of us. Even if they're just generic NPCs walking around with, student as their name, I'd appreciate having them there just to make this place look like the college. And, the Bard's College has lessons going on in this game. Oblivion's Arcane University had classes going on.
Let's get started.
And this game should, too.
Please. This is
Khajiit,
exactly what I'm talking
that's
about.
unexpected. Dark Elves, of course, expected. And this is some sort of human. Hopefully a Breton. Probably just a Nord.
But we've only just arrived here. You've no idea what any of us...
Yeah, he's a Nord.
Why not give us a chance to show you what we can do?
You've been quiet so far.
Oh, Hjalti's not ready to be put on the spot.
What do you think we should do?
Well, this would sound indecisive and weak. This would sound weak, although it would be sucking up the professor, which might be a good idea. This is kind of a more neutral approach. Shouldn't offend anybody.
See, he agrees with us too. Why don't you actually show us something?
None of these students have impressed Hjalti so far. They all seem very foolish and unlikely to be skilled mages.
In continuing with our theme of safety, we'll start with wards.
But I thought we were being practical. Wards are worthless.
That block magic. I'll teach you all a ward.
So we don't know when I'll teach you one for free at this point. But
spells.
it's a cheap one anyway.
Would you mind helping me with the demonstration? Are you at all
Oh good, a
familiar
chance to
with ward
show
spells?
off and boast.
Well, then this should be no problem at all. Now, if you'll just stand right over there, I'll cast a spell at you, and you block it with the ward. Here we go.
So this part is a bit of a nuisance too. It takes him a long time to get in place for it, and he won't really notice that you are for a while either, even if you turn on this quest marker to see the exact right place.
Wouldn't want anyone else in the way.
So I need to stand exactly in the center of this place.
Cast the ward spell. You have to keep your ward
He
up.
won't recognize that it's up.
I don't want to hurt you. Over there, please.
Still won't recognize that I'm already in the spot.
Anyone else in the way. Now, hold still.
Here he goes. He seems to forget that spell after this. He never casts like a firebolt again.
Excellent start. I'd like you all to continue practicing with wards, please. I think perhaps we're ready to begin exploring some of the various applications of magic throughout history. The college has undertaken a fascinating...
Wards are a cool idea. It's a shame they're so badly implemented.
Saarthal nearby.
I'd like if they were more player skill based. Like you had to turn them on with precise timing or something like that. But they were magic efficient if you did that.
And see what awaits us inside. That's all for now. Thank you.
He means in a few hours. It will be like 4 till he gets there. They walk at this pace all the way. So do something else in the meantime. Hjalti will be getting some rest. He's very sleepy. So he'll just go traipsing off to the apprentice quarters over here in the Hall of Attainment. Feralda's gone elsewhere. The more targets around, the more experience you get for Detect Life. Although it's still a pretty small amount. Well, he's too tired to even be hungry, so he'll get some rest there. Doesn't want to keep him waiting too long, so he'll just make it like a medium-length sleep. And now he wakes up pretty famished. But first he should loot his own room. Vampire dust is useful. You can turn invisible with that. Everybody in Tamriel should know that. Valuable ingredients. These wardrobes have randomized fine clothes in them, which is great because he had a shortage of good clothes to wear. Mage gloves. Now that just adds insult to injury. I told you before there are no boots or gloves in this entire game for mages. I mean, they call them mage gloves or college boots, but they have no enchantment, so they're worthless. Wasted opportunity there. Fine clothes, more fine clothes. Can I get some fine boots? Fine clothes. I'll take the shoes if I have to, but I feel like I should wear some boots. Oh, very well. Alright. So, anybody in here now? Someone up there. Probably Mirabelle Irvine, who for some reason sleeps in this room with the apprentices instead of with the professors. Yeah, it's just her. Nobody interesting. She doesn't really do that much. Oh, wow. Hjalti has hit the mother load here. Apple pies, bread, fine wines, sweet rolls, cheeses, more bread, apples, discussing green apples, more fine wines. Well, he is famished, having had just trail food more or less for the last day and a half or so. So, I'm going to sit down and eat at a plate like a civilized person. Some fine wine, some cheap booze too, entire leg of goat roast, some sliced cheese, apple pies, just some apples. Alright, but he's feeling much better now. Stuffed, but it's been a while. Down we go.
Please don't bother the Archmage unless it's absolutely necessary.
He doesn't do anything important, mind. He just kind of loiters around and stares into space. Well, I'm hoping to find some of the other professors around here, and I might as well talk to this strange person that's staring into space, find out who he is. Probably nobody important.
You are relatively new here, are
A
you?
dark elf.
I have noticed
Probably nobody
you, but
important.
we have not spoken.
I'll be polite just in case.
Sir? How quaint.
Well, maybe that was the wrong choice.
I am Savos Arin, Archmage of the College
But
of
sure.
Winterhold.
Hjalti's glad he was
I am
polite.
quite content to see nearly any aspect of magic explored and investigated here. But I do not and will not approve of any research or experiments that cause purposeful harm to your fellow members of the college. Are we clear?
There's no real option to follow up on that.
Not often.
It's kind of a weird,
risks must be
discordant
taken,
element
to be
of the
sure.
College of Winterhold
I am
here.
simply trying to
All the
avoid
professors, well,
untimely
most of them are really,
deaths.
quite caring and
We also
cautious and
must
so
make an
forth.
effort
And
to
so
avoid
it's weird to have that kind of
Skyrim
attitude
victims.
juxtaposed with people getting blown up on a day-to-day basis. Let me ask about
I've
this
seen
stuff.
documents dating back to the late Second Era. Beyond that, it's hard to say.
In other words, there is no history. They made it up
Events
for
in
this
the last
game.
several hundred years resulted in a
With no
significant
background.
loss of our history.
I don't know why they did that. Like, it's a cool opportunity to have the Mages Guild collapse and numerous factions spring up fighting each other.
As
But they
it
don't
has
really
come to be
use that.
known.
They don't have any kind of plot about
An
that.
unfortunate
So,
natural
wasted
disaster that
opportunity.
ravaged the area.
So is the Great
The college
Collapse here.
fared far better than the city of Winterhold, but it was not left untouched. No one is
It's a
sure
mystery
of
of which you
cause.
can't learn more about.
Some believe the eruption of Red Mountain had far-reaching consequences.
Like a century
Were only
later.
felt
That part's
years
kind of
later.
implausible.
I know there are some who have blamed the college, said that we were responsible. I assure you this is not the case. The Sea of Ghosts practically
That's the sea
came
north
alive.
of
No
Skyrim.
one was expecting it. Monstrous waves battered the shore for weeks on end. Winterhold was ancient and weathered, but it couldn't withstand the sea's fury. Entire districts of the city were lost overnight. The waves receded in time, but the damage was irreversible. Most residents of Winterhold abandoned what was left of the city. The college survived.
So that's why it's such a wreck.
And so here we remain.
The timeline here doesn't really make much sense.
Now, if
At
you'll
all.
excuse me.
Like, Red Mountain blew up a long time ago, so why the Dark Elf is still acting like, new immigrants here rather than having been here for decades is a mystery. Oh well. And that the Great Collapse you can't ever investigate is kind of disappointing too. I'm fine with it remaining a mystery even, but just like you have it be something ambiguous that we can investigate and not find the answer to, instead of just like people talk about it, and it's the most important event here, but you can't follow up on it in any way, shape, or form. Well, anyway. Ancient and medieval people actually did have a pretty good grasp of how volcanic eruptions and earthquakes and whatnot could cause greatly delayed tsunami effects, although not like 100 years delayed like it is in this case, I think. For example, I remember the great Greek historian Thucydides talking in his book about how Greek city was destroyed basically by tsunami flooding, and he theorized more or less correctly that it was caused by an earthquake some months before that. So, and he had a pretty good explanation of how that could happen, although not entirely accurate. Good for his time. So there's often a dangerous encounter somewhere around here. I'm going to be conserving my magic, just looking at little sonar pulses. Someone fighting with a bow and arrow there. Are they friend or foe? Friend. Okay. Who's that? Also a friend? Alright, what are they fighting? Are they just hunters, perhaps? Fighting a goat? Well, alright. I'll take it. Especially because I think there's an ice wolf around here somewhere. Like there. Maybe the hunters will help me with that. Ice wolves, of course, are very dangerous. Far too strong for me to fight conventionally. 2 ice wolves. Okay, I'm going to make sure I have my kind shout equipped, and these hunters are probably going to die. We'll see about that. Right, here they come. Go for the other guys, please. Not me. I'm going to back up behind the next hunter. That guy's going down soon. Yep, there he goes. Right. So the hunters are no match whatsoever. I'll summon an Atronach to help out. I'll get some mana back while it's calm and I can regenerate at full speed. But I can't leave these guys alive behind me. Oh, it's uncooked. Nothing of great value. Any random NPC could have an Amulet of Talos. That's what I'm hoping for, really. Alright, let's start this up again. Not me. The other one will wear off anytime now. Hopefully he's fighting. No, he's still not fighting the others yet. Jeez. Come on, fight the Atronach. There we go. Alright, so kind piece will wear off on the other one momentarily. But if I can take this guy out, the rest of the fight should be pretty easy. Alright, come on, Atronach, tank it. Nope, not getting chewed up like that. 2 ice wolves. That is quite a challenge. And the Atronach will die soon, so I better make another one. Well, I can't leave this guy alive because he could ambush me coming out of this place. Fight the Atronach boy. There we go. Isn't that much better? For me? Oh, good. Destruction level. Oh, and a me level up. Great. Alright, so threat cleared. I'll save that level up for later, because there'll almost certainly be serious dangers later on. What kind of animal is that? It's a hostile one. Looks like a regular wolf, perhaps. Find out. Yes. Okay, a regular old wolf I can handle. Great. Back to Saarthal. So Saarthal was the first city of humans ever built, apparently. Unless you believe the stories that that the humans were here before the elves, which is also possible. There's contradictory stories about who was really here first in each continent. But Saarthal was destroyed by the elves for reasons that we'll find out over the course of this quest line here. Students are already waiting down there for me. And then Winterhold was the first city of the second wave of humans that then defeated the elves and conquered all of Skyrim, and then eventually most of Tamriel for themselves. So the students all have different attitudes to being here.
You are new. Have you mastered the expert level distraction spells yet?
There's no option to lie and boast here, unfortunately.
This is good, but Jizargo will know them first. It is good to finally be around mages who may be able to keep up with Jizargo.
Well, Hjalti also thinks everything's a competition. He just thinks this guy's probably no match for him.
Yes, Jizargo hopes to find things that will make him a more powerful mage here. Hopefully small things that fit inside pockets and will not be noticed if they are missing.
Typical Khajiit. Just
All right then.
keep an eye on him.
And here we all are. Shall we step inside?
He doesn't want to be here because I think it's a desecration of this Nord burial site. But this isn't the burial site, it's a ruined city, so who knows what he's talking about. Well, I know it's important about this place. Every human knows that the humans here were massacred by the elves, and that kind of started off our ongoing
That's why I adore this location.
just,
No idea
hatred
what
for
we're going
them.
to find. And if along the way my message about the dangers of magic should happen to sink in for a few students, that would be a happy coincidence.
Perhaps he's cleverer than I thought. Well, if it's dangerous, let me buy and sell some
Spells
things
and
first.
incantations for those with the talent
So,
to cast them.
That may be worthwhile when I'm low on mana. Yeah, I'll take it. Don't want to be, sitting around with helplessly. Can be kind of time consuming and boring. That could help a little bit, but it's probably not worth it. Snap of Calm. Yeah, probably not worth it for most of that stuff. Oh wait. I think I accidentally sold my tomes of these spells, so I'll get those back. And what can I sell him? Well, I don't need these. I think I want to keep the blue ones. My hat and the shoes I'll keep. These are worthless. Badge. I already have one. Sell that and that. Necklace. Oh, I don't need these anymore. And keep that stuff. These empty ones I'll sell too. That should do.
All right then.
So, need to say I'm ready to go.
Sure we should be
Good.
here.
All right. Please stay close to me while we're inside.
There's no danger in this first zone, but later on there
Hard
is.
to believe this excavation was approved.
Not talking. Okay. Well, in we go. So as I said, this first zone is perfectly safe. Just kind of another slow walk, some lecturing going on. People don't already know about most of this stuff. You guys gonna move? Kind of a crowd
As
here.
some of you may know, Saarthal was one of the earliest North settlements of Skyrim. It was also the largest. Sacked by the elves in the infamous Night of Tears, not much is known about what happened to Saarthal.
Because there are very few survivors, just Ysgramor who fled back to Atmora then brought reinforcements.
An opportunity for us to be able to study such. Well, are there any questions before we begin?
Well, I've already asked my important question.
Ah, yes. Well, why don't you see if you can assist Arniel Gain?
Standing in the
One
wrong
of our
place, so she
scholars
just blocks
here
me.
working on cataloging our finds.
Arniel Gain is a
I
moderately
expect
important
he'd
NPC.
appreciate some help
Doesn't
in
really teach you
locating
anything or
any
sell anything,
additional
but
magical
has some
artifacts
quests relating
here
to
in
him.
the ruins. Any enchanted items will do. The usefulness of the enchantment is irrelevant. If you
Intriguing.
find anything, the class can look it over.
I'll keep the useful ones
Now,
for
let's
myself
see.
then.
What shall we have the rest of you do? Berlina, my dear.
So it gives them all useless little assignments that they don't really follow up on.
Anything designed to keep people out. Don't
I'm not
interact
seeing
with them.
signs of
Just
any warding
identify them.
magics at all.
Onmund,
Either they're not
please
here,
search that
or they
area
were
over
removed
there.
long ago.
See if you notice any residual energies, alive or undead.
Undead, yes. So Detect Life has no use against undead, as I've said, but this shout I have here is. I'm going to equip that for the duration of my time in these ruins.
Please search that area over there. What shall we have you? See if you notice any residual. Why don't you verify that we're the first ones here? Undead. Look for any amount of tampering in the.
He's talking over himself now. But
All right, everyone.
they don't really follow up on these things at all.
Have fun.
Can you imagine what it was like living here so long ago? We first met in Tamriel. Here.
Jazargo finds nothing but dust in these ruins.
I'm not seeing signs of any warding
So
magics
they
at all.
kind of fail at their
Either
missions.
they're not here, or they were removed long ago.
But I will not.
Lost!
So there's my new shout, Aura Whisper. So it has revealed to me where Arniel Gain is. I think there's like one loose chest around in here somewhere, but it's not worth looting. All people show off as red as if they're enemies with that, but they're not. It's just how Aura
It's
Whisper
going to take
works.
forever to sift through all this. He what? You must be one of the new apprentices then. Fine, fine. Just don't make a mess of my work, all right?
Again, they all have different,
I've only
unique
looked
kinds
through
of
a portion this
personalities.
section. You can look around in the chambers just
Fellow
north of
Breton.
here. Try and be careful, all right? We don't want to damage anything.
This will be forgotten 10 minutes from now, 10 seconds
Just
from now.
round up the rest of the magical artifacts so that I can catalog them.
Right.
Until next time.
Well, I'm going to turn that quest on because these items are very hard to see on the ground. They're tiny little magic rings. They all have the same enchantment on them. It's not a worthless one, it just, I have a better ring already. So I'll keep them and probably sell them. No. I'll drop that junk. Just stuff in that, and where's the stuff I picked up? I don't want the linen wrap, or this knife, or... There we go. Back to the way it should be. One more ring, and then the important one over here is this amulet. Neat looking, but pretty useless. Oh no, I'm trapped. We kind of missed the opportunity to have Arniel
What in the
interact with
world
that.
was that racket?
Instead, just
Everything
Tolfthur
all
does.
right?
There's no calm response out there.
How in the world did that happen? Really? Perhaps the amulet is important somehow. Is there some way you can use it?
So here we stop being cautious. I'm just going to put on this strange amulet that could be cursed or whatever.
Do you see that? Some kind of resonance. You and the wall. It must be connected to the amulet. I wonder what effect might...
And again, we no longer care about messing up the place for some reason. So I break it, and it shatters, and so does this gate behind me. It opens up, so...
Please be careful here. Well, would you look at that? This appears to lead somewhere. Let's see where it goes.
And we just kind of leave Arnel Gain here, and he doesn't seem to care or interact with us in any way. So for the next little bit, I have the help of Tolfdir. I detect some 4 enemies, probably Draugr, standing up with their arms crossed ahead, but nothing in here. Here he comes, walking slowly along again. Not much in here other than this apothecary satchel. Let's see what's in there. That's a rare ingredient, but worthless. Yeah, mostly junk. Who knows why it didn't rot away in all these hundreds of years.
What is this place?
So here comes a dull, unnecessary cinematic. Time freezes and this NPC shows up who's omniscient and prophetic and an elf. Now, I should say, I hate all tropes of prophets and prophecies in every kind of work, from mythology to video games to movies to books. They always kill the drama, they're unnecessary to the storyline. All the cool things you can do with them have been done thousands of years ago. So this guy from the Sigic Order shows up and just like tells you that you'll succeed pretty much again and again, but it's not interesting, it's not fun, it's not necessary at all. He doesn't really have any bearing on the plot. It's irksome too, because we've been wondering for 5 games what the deal is with this Sigic Order, and now we finally see them, but they don't do anything important or tell us anything interesting.
I felt something rather strange just then. What just happened?
You don't have an option to lie again. Those options are always missing for some reason.
Can you tell me more about what you saw?
It's only just this one dull response.
Are you quite sure about that?
Can't really roleplay through this questline for that reason.
And danger ahead? Why, that doesn't make any sense at all. The Sigics have no connection to these ruins, and no one's seen any of their order in a long time.
They've basically not really been featured in any games, so we've been waiting and waiting and waiting.
Now, please do be careful. Who knows what we're going to find?
Draugr, obviously. I'll kind of play dumb here and see what else he knows that Hjalti doesn't already know.
That predates the Empire.
By which means they're like 5,000 years old. They go back to the late Merithic era at the very earliest.
They vanished, along with their sanctuary on the Isle of Artaeum.
They've done that several times in history, too. They don't have any. I don't know why they chose to put them in the game here. It's a complete waste of them and their big mystery.
I have no idea, but it's fascinating. Assuming it's true, of course.
I don't know if he thinks I'm lying or the Sigic guy is lying.
Over 100 years ago, and no one has seen them since. And yet now, suddenly, they've chosen to contact you. Why, it's intriguing. If nothing else, I'd take it as a compliment. The Sigics have only ever dealt with those they feel worthy.
The Mage's Guild was founded in opposition to that kind of elitist attitude. Well, I'm going to summon because these coffins will clearly have Draugr in them, and I don't know how he doesn't grasp that. It's so obvious. Oh, look! It's a Draugr! Well, I'll make that one run away because it's the toughest one. We can finish off this one easily enough. Just a low-level Draugr. So that guy got stuck trying to go through the door, it looks like. Which is good. That gives us a chance to hack him up pretty easily. I guess I might as well join in at this point, now that he's mostly dead. He's a spellcaster for the look of his hand. So, if he turned around, he could refuel my mana gauge, but he's not going to do so for another couple of seconds. So, of course, as you can see here, Tolfdir is a great alteration master, but he only knows the most basic destruction spells. He won't even cast Firebolt like he did before. Nothing useful. Okay. Well, I sensed 4 Draugr up ahead there, so better watch out. And also, of course, watch out for traps. Again, he's surprisingly sensible for an NPC in a video game. Ouch. Step on an object, stuns they ricochet around. Once or twice have been killed by some kind of random debris object they stepped on. I'm going to summon in there and then get my mana back, so this fight will be less exasperating than it can be. I don't think him walking in will trigger the Draugr, but I'm pretty sure me going in will. Just about ready. Alright, let's go. Oh, what do you know? It's a Draugr. With a bow. So I want that guy running away. I'm going to kind of crowd control them a little bit. Making 2 of them run so we can only fight the rest of them. Straighten things out a little bit. There. 1 down. 12 tier helps a little bit. It's not terribly effective. He often kind of forgets to fight. Just kind of stands there to hack him up. But we got 2 down. Okay, the others are running. So we won't get any hits on them for a while because they'll be fleeing. But well, let me squeeze on by here. Injured by those bones again somehow. I think he's ready to fight, but he's stuck on that object, which is silly. Very silly. Alright, well my Atronach is down, so it's just 12th tier and me at this point. Well, we've mostly got this guy now. Stuck. Maybe I'll switch back to flames. It's often more effective when you're at low mana like this. He makes this fight much, much faster than it would be otherwise. 4 Draugr would be not really challenging as long as you targeted the mages first, but tedious. Alright, they're done for. I'm gonna give him a heal, get some brownie points with the professor perhaps. NPCs often heal up fast after fights, but I don't know why I think these coffins are the unexpected, because coffins are exactly what you expect in here. This bridge is the unusual thing, over this who even knows what down there. So now I have, I'm on my own for the next section here. It's a pretty typical Nordic ruin though. Fairly small, not a big challenge as I recall. So, let's see what's up ahead. 4 nearby Draugr. It looks like 3 sleeping. 1 perhaps awake. Well. We'll summon the Atronach on top of that one, perhaps. See if I can finish him off quickly. Ooh, I see something glowing on the floor there. That is a fire rune. I don't want to step onto that. It'll do massive, massive damage to me. So, I'm going to avoid that. What I will do is shout over it, which will hopefully create enough noise to lure other Draugr to my position while this Atronach still lives. Instead of me having to just summon up a new one entirely. Anything over here? Ah, there's one. Okay. Or there's 2. Okay. Found it. Alright, Atronach, do your stuff. I want them all to close into melee with it, where I can deal with them easily. Don't want to waste my magicka, or I'll be kind of stuck here, unable to help out much. Which is undignified, to say the least. But if I can summon up a new one, once that one goes down, that'll be a good opportunity. Let's be ready to shout at them the instant it dies. It's about to there. I'm gonna turn this one so it runs away from me and hopefully back into the Atronach. Then I'll finish him off with flames. Didn't sense any more in this area, so it should be good to go with this. Yes, he's running along by the Atronach. Come on, Atronach, let's follow. Let's avoid traps though. The way they run is hard to predict. It's not usually, well, not always away from you. Some just kind of in odd random directions, but they never fight back while they're doing so. Don't want him on me, because this time could wear off and then he'll start going for me again. I also want him, yep, like this. Right, let's get him running back this way toward the Atronach, which will hopefully take some shots at him. He'll go down soon. Almost. Yep, didn't mean to fall down there. Great. Well, 4 Draugr gone, not hurt. Went out pretty well. Let's see if there's any more items around here. Ooh, chest. Anything good in it? Yeah, that could be useful. I'm going to need to do a lot of damage in short order, which happens fairly often on mages, especially fighting other mages. Empty, nothing on that one. Nothing over there. Now, this chest over here that I was saying might be trapped. It's kind of in the darkness. This thing there is dark. So let me use those new tomes that I got for the light spells, which are pretty worthless most of the time. So there's 2 light spells in the game. So candlelight is the worst one. It goes around me, costs very little mana, gives me basically no experience. It can kind of blind you by flying in front of your face, and it makes you very easy for enemies to see. So not many real uses. Magelight's a little bit more expensive, and it makes like a floating light at the place that you target it toward. Moderately more useful, but you still rarely need light. In this case, it has revealed that there were no... Ooh, is that a ruby? Nice. Money. There were no traps here. So I'll just loot this chest. Great. And then...
Lost!
2 sleeping enemies. Must be Draugr again. Anything in that urn or that urn? No? Okay. Well, if they're sleeping, there's a good chance to just kind of summon on top of them. Ooh, a trap on the floor. Simply go around. Looks like the dart trap's not a big threat, but still don't want to get hit by them necessarily. While they're getting up, I'll loot these things. And perhaps I will turn that one that Atronach is not currently fighting, and zap it from behind, and then... Yep, definitely a dart trap. Great. May as well loot him in case he's something valuable. It is unlikely. Through we go. So what's up next? 1 enemy that's awake and conscious, okay. But a long ways off. Some kind of puzzle room. That's... You don't have to be eagle-eyed to see what this one is. That's... Well. Far too easy to be interesting. I'm out of puns already. Well, 6 of them, that's unusual. Typically you never find more than 4. Alright, should be all set up? There we go.
Lost!
Now we're getting closer, okay. So... I'm not going to open this door, that will probably give away my location. It may be a powerful Draugr, because it's on its own up there. Or it may be a weak one and no challenge, in which case, who cares? So I get my mana back, hopefully the Atron doesn't get killed by being stuck in the door somehow. Get my mana back, then I'll go through there. And fight it. Good enough. In we go. What is up there? How can we make it come down to us? There. Okay. Oh, it's a Draugr White. Very powerful, will definitely be immune to my turn undead spells. But it has a 200 weapon, so it's not a big threat. Oh, sure, it'll kill me in 1 shot, but it's unlikely to get that 1 shot because it'll be so slow and clumsy. It'll probably kill my Atronach pretty soon, but the Atronach is low on timed life anyway. So I'll get some chip damage in while I can, and I'll be ready to resummon once I don't have to wait around forever, which is just undignified. Stunned it so it couldn't get the second hit, so the Atronach can keep wailing on it. Okay. Well, I'll just kind of kite it around for a little while. Won't take too long. I could jump off to one of these platforms that can't chase me to, but I won't be doing that kind of exploit. Working a trap it so the Atronach has to fight it in melee. This would be a good spot. Alright, so now I'll get in on this action with flames, probably. Some shouts, too. Whenever it's about to swing, so it doesn't do too much damage. And it may kill the Atronach anyway, but hopefully not too soon, so I can finish it off. That needs to summon up another one. I think it's a lady Draugr, so that's pretty rare. Oh, killed the Atronach, but it's almost like itself. Yeah. Just ignore my stun? Come on. So, Draugr Whites. Now, if you're familiar with the word white, it's probably from the Lord of the Rings books with the Barrow Wights. But actually, the word is quite old. It goes back to Germanic roots. And originally just kind of meant being. Could be a supernatural being, could also just be a human. But over time, it came to just mean supernatural beings only. So that's where Tolkien got Barrow Wights, just barrow beings. And the Draugr, of course, are very clearly influenced by the Barrow Wights, which are one of my favorite Lord of the Rings creatures to begin with. Partly because they're so mysterious. But the Draugr are also partly based upon, actual Draugr from Scandinavian mythology. Oh, a trap. Lightning rune there. Now, your mythological Draugr were much more... It's not going off, is it? There we go. Were much more powerful and dangerous, but they were, the undead, corpses of fallen warriors and whatnot hanging out in barrow tombs. So I greatly appreciate that they put those in this game instead of more generic undead like we've seen in most previous Elder Scrolls games. Another puzzle trap thing. Snake, whale, hawk. And snake, whale. They're repeating it for some reason? They're really going easy with these puzzles here. Alright, fine. Maybe they think it's a reasonable... Oh, the other ones move, huh? What if I turn just this one? That one moves and nothing else. What if I turn this one? They all move. Okay, that's straightforward enough then. I need to move this one first, it's done now. Then this one, so I don't undo my own work. Great. Then this one. And lastly, this one. That should be good. That was pretty easy. Maybe they're assuming that you haven't done Bleak Falls Burial because it's an early game possible quest. Just one guess. Another trap. Poison darts. Okay. So he's back for the final couple of fights here. Let's see what's over here. Ooh, could be an interesting book. Shazar and the Divines. By Faustulus Junius, Subcurator of Ancient Theology and Paleonumerology, Imperial Library. The position Shazar enjoys in Cyrodiilic worship is often misconstrued. He and 1,000 other deities have sizable cults in the Imperial City. Not that we saw those in Oblivion. Shazar is especially venerated in the Calovian West, though he is called Shor there, as the West Kings are resolutely and religiously Nordic. Shor is, of course, the Nord name for Lorkhan. Shazar is the Cyrodiilic name for him. The haziness of Shazar's relationship to the Divines, he is often called their missing sibling, begins with Saint Alessia, the so-called slave queen of Cyrodiil, the founder figure of the original Cyrodiilic Empire. In the earliest Syro-Nordic stories of the Heartland, Shazar fought against the Aelids, the Heartland High Elves, on mankind's behalf. Then, for some unknown reason, he vanishes from the stage, presumably to help other humans elsewhere, and without his leadership, the Aelids conquer the humans and enslave them. This slavery lasts for generations. The isolated humans eventually begin to venerate the pantheon of their masters, or at least assimilate so much of High Elven religious practices into their native traditions that the two become indistinguishable. In 1st Year 242, under the leadership of Alessia, her demigod lover Morahouse, Breath of Kine, and the infamous Pelennor Whitestrake, who some people think is Shazar reincarnated, the Cyrodiilic humans revolt. When Skyrim lends its armies to the slave queen of the south, the revolution succeeds. The Aeliid hegemonies are quickly overthrown. Shortly thereafter, White Gold Tower is captured by Alessia's fortress, and she promptly declares herself the first Empress of Cyrodiil. Part of the package meant that she had to become the High Priestess of Akatosh as well. Akatosh was an Aldmeri god, kinda. They call him Auriel. And Alessia's subjects were as yet unwilling to renounce their worship of the Elven pantheon. She found herself in a very sensitive political situation. She needed to keep the Nords as allies, but they were, at that time, fiercely opposed to any adoration of Elven deities. On the other hand, she could not force her subjects to revert back to the Nordic pantheon for fear of another revolution. Therefore, concessions were made, and Empress Alessia instituted the new religion, the Eight Divines, an elegant, well-researched synthesis of both pantheons, Nordic and Aldmeri. So you can see the Eight Divines are kind of an arbitrary notion to begin with, that was put together for political reasons, using gods from both pantheons and not all of either. Shazar, as a result, had to change. He could no longer be the bloodthirsty anti-Aldmer warlord of old. He could not disappear altogether either, or the Nords would have withdrawn their support of her rule. In the end, he had become the spirit behind all human undertaking. Even though this is merely a thinly disguised, watered-down version of Shor, it was good enough for the Nords. As for why Tiber Septim has not attempted to revitalize Shazar during his wars against the Aldmeri Dominion, we can only speculate that at this time, members of the Alessian Order's follies, Dragonbreak, the War of Righteousness, the defeat at Glenumber Moors, and Hjalti's native High Rock, it certainly was a righteous defeat of them, only damaged his campaign for the Imperial Crown. This is an old book then, 600 years old at this point. So some interesting religious lore there. Kind of explores some of the arbitrary nature of the pantheons in this setting. People argue about 8 divines or 9 divines in this game, but whether there should be any divines by that kind of system at all is a real question. I think that Hjalti is kind of more in line with the original Nord pantheon. Ooh, now what is this? I remember I was very excited to find this when I was first playing this Mage's Guild quest. Because I had no idea what it was and wasn't expecting to find anything so interesting so early in the quest line.
Well now, would you look at that? I never imagined we'd find something like this. Why is this buried so far within Saarthal?
So there's clearly a Draugr enemy down there, but he can glitch if you don't wait for Tolfter to get there. So, there we go.
Is someone there?
So Tolfter will try to fight him, and you'll find that he's invincible. Skyrim does have a few actual boss fights in it, like this one, where it's not just like a tough enemy, but one who has unusual powers, techniques, and whatnot. And that's fun. I wish they had more of those, but they have a decent number. Alright, so I'm going to summon to distract him. Hopefully he'll zap me a little bit with his cold beam there. It'll restore some of my magicka. Great. There's almost no damage to me and gives me back a lot of magicka. So, he's still invincible. I'm just kind of running around in circles. Nothing can hurt him. Now he can be hurt. Although he has a rotating shield now to different elements. Don't want to have him on top of me. Oh, so now he's immune to fire. So he won't be taking damage from my Atronach either. So I just kind of stall for time. That means he's weak to ice for the time being. Although he's a Draugr, so it's still not a good choice. I'll simply wait that out. His elemental shield will change again. It's a cool kind of boss to have in a Mage's Guild questline where you rely upon elemental damage. You can see the Atronach's doing no damage either, but soon he'll change up, and then he'll be vulnerable. It's a little bit hard for me to tell right now whether he has a fire shield on or simply on fire from being next to the Atronach, so I'll hit him and check that way. He's supposed to have some kind of shield on. There we go. Alright, so he's immune to that for some reason. Well, let me try lightning. There we go. Where is he? There he is. So now that's his ice form. Okay, so now he's weak to fire, so I can easily finish him if I can just get him to stand still for a moment. Come on, hit me one more time. Do it. Get over here, you. Don't want to get hit by his axe. That would do way too much damage to me to survive. I think he has his fire shield back now. Fine. Oh, watch out. What kind of shield is that? Is that Storm? No. Can't really tell what he's doing here. Alright, fine. Let's finish him with Spark. No, he resisted that. Okay, he's resisting 2 elements now. Didn't know he could do that. Well, that's alright. Hopefully he'll cast a spell at me soon. There we go. Got some magicka back. So now I can unload on him with whatever. Great. So, neat little boss. Not amazing, but neat. Decent item for my level. It's pretty bad later on. And it's also cool how those 2 questions interact. This one's called the Forbidden Legend, and let me read the book about the little writ that he had to start the Forbidden Legend. Be bound here, Jurek, murderer, betrayer, condemned by your crimes against realm and lord. May your name and deeds be forgotten forever, and the charm which you bear be sealed by our reward. Neat little poem there. So it begins a new little questline. It's cool these ones intersect, but it doesn't really make any sense. Let me loot this table here. Poisons. More poisons. This staff is actually quite useful. So, it's a staff that does, lightning damage. But 2 things are good about it. Number 1, its attack speed is unusually high. Number 2, it's not a typo here saying it does twice as much magic damage, whereas normal shock spells do only half. So it's 4 times as magic efficient, anti-magic efficient as regular shock spells. So good to have for that reason. But yeah, it makes no sense for him to be here, because this thing was sealed away thousands of years ago, and nobody discovered it after that, so how could they come back down here, put him in this room, and then not notice the giant orb? It's kind of silly.
Place be? I have no idea. This is amazing. Absolutely amazing. The Archmage needs to be informed immediately. He needs to see this for himself. I don't dare leave this unattended. Can you return to the college and inform Savos Aran of this discovery? Please, hurry.
Certainly. So he's actually pretty reasonable staying here to defend this thing instead of letting it be stolen like you would expect to happen in an RPG questline. But out I go. I don't think there's any more threats. Maybe another trap or 2. Certainly no more undead. And there's a backdoor here. They could have come in this way and put the guy in there, but why would they do so and leave the giant orb there and not comment upon it in any way, shape, or form? This is hundreds and hundreds of years after the destruction of Saarthal, so another good shout here. Another utility one. Ice form. You can use it to paralyze your foes, basically. Freeze them in ice. Now, if you attack them, that breaks them free, so that part is not so great. But it's still useful just to take one guy out of a fight while you focus on the other one, or things like that. I won't learn it just yet because I kind of have a foosh for that type of temporarily slow down the enemy purpose, and because I need to kind of conserve Dragon Souls for the time being because I have one more great utility shout coming up soon. But it will be one of the ones that I'll learn eventually. Alright, so we're back near the beginning. Maybe I'll switch back my spells around. Get Detect Life again, get Sparks again, so to turn undead because I won't be fighting undead for a while, I don't think. Then out we go. Well, I cleared the Ice Wolves before, so shouldn't need to worry too much about those, but there could be another random encounter in that random encounter spot that I went through. Don't want to consume too much stamina or magicka for that reason. Guess we'll see what I find. So, you know, a cool sight up on here in these glaciers with this ancient excavation. Lots of interesting locations to come across in Skyrim. And that quest line, you know, that for the Mages Guild so far, it's interesting. It's just that they don't really explore its full possibilities very well. A deer running, that probably means there's animals nearby. Yeah, wolves. Regular old wolves, I can handle. Let me summon up an Atronach here, so I have some backup to get to. Let me put my kind shot in case they're not regular old wolves. Where are they? There they are. Let's make them fight each other if I can. Great. They should turn and fight each other now. Or maybe not. Maybe they'll just go for me. There we go. Great. So I'll just switch back to Flames. Destruction's halfway up to level 30, which would be a great power-up for me. I really want to get there as soon as I can. Nice. Not what I meant to do. So, back on track. Back to the town of Winterhold, where I think I may stop into their general store and offload some of this stuff to be traveling light for my next few adventures. Running a deer right in the middle of town. It's kind of weird. The more targets in range, the more Detect Life experience you get. Not that it's like a ton either way. But that will be my main way to level up Alteration for quite a while. No thanks. Yeah, the locals are hostile to the college, as we've discussed before a little bit. So, in we go. Thrall is no longer out here keeping guard, and that it's not necessary to keep you out. Just kind of resumes normal duties, walking around through the professors. But Hjalti should go find the Archmage more or less immediately. Cool mage statue that does nothing again. He's probably up in the Archmage's quarters. Let's see. One of these stairs goes directly to you, and one goes to the Arcaneum first. There's the Thalmor. Hjalti hates the Thalmor, both because they killed his father in the war, and because, of course, they're high elves. There's the Archmage, in sumptuous quarters.
What you learn here will last you a lifetime. Several, if you're talented.
I think I'll start with this to make it clearly important, rather than waste this time.
One of the apprentices has been incinerated.
Again, discordant having people apparently get killed around here versus how people are actually concerned about it and whatnot.
Very well. I trust that you wouldn't be here were it not significant. Thank you for bringing this to my attention. Tolfdir normally looks after your little group, yes? Since he's apparently occupied, and I will need to see this discovery for myself, I think perhaps you should begin researching the subject. Speak with Urag in the Arcaneum. See if he's aware of anything that matches your discovery. And good work. The next time you find yourself exploring Nordic ruins, perhaps this will be helpful.
I doubt it. It's a useless staff of magelight.
Personally? No, not I. One of their number used to advise the Archmage when I was but an apprentice here. But that was a great many years ago. Before all the members of the Order were called back to the Isle of Artaeum.
About 100 years ago. Elves typically live about 300 or so years in this setting.
Alright then.
So let me just show you something over here. If you're not doing a role-playing run, don't mind stealing from the Archmage basically right in front of him. His extremely powerful Archmage robes are right here. And you'll get legitimate, ownership of them later on in the questline regardless. But I can't justify that because he could probably kill me. I would probably find out with his archmage powers and, you know, them being his robes and all. So I won't be doing that.
There you are. I've been trying to find you.
Uh-oh.
I just wanted to let you know that Ancano's been asking about you. I think he's looking for you.
Double uh-oh.
I'm not sure.
I'll play dumb here.
Just, well, mind what you tell him, all right?
Interesting.
No. Well, I don't think so. Between the two of us, there are rumors about it.
As we speak in this
that
big
this
open
advisor
room.
position he has is a sham, an excuse. That what he's really doing is spying for the Thalmor, trying to feed them information.
Well.
Whether it's true,
Two interesting things there. Number one, the High Elves here are not all working together, as I had feared. Number two, Feralda is stupid enough not to think that it's obvious that he's a Thalmor spy.
You're welcome.
Let's see if I can style anything useful. Here's a bunch of useful professors. I don't really need that. Yeah, she won't sell any better stuff for a while. Familiar. Yeah, not necessary. Let me just offload what I've got then. She won't sell better destruction until I'm higher level. So one of those, I guess. Don't really need two, and that one. And am I wearing the Amulet of Zenithar? Let me make sure that I am. Oops.
It's been
Silly
a
me.
pleasure. Mirabelle does a... Take a look.
So I'll offload the rest of this stuff that I don't need. Those three I can sell, and that. And those are worthless to everybody all the time. And that is useless too, but Hjalti would think it was possibly valuable, so he would keep it. Yeah, I'll keep these things for myself. Do you already know that spell? I'll check. Okay. It's a useless spell, just makes people who are afraid keep fighting.
What you learn here will last you a lifetime.
Well,
Several if you're
certainly
talented.
making a name for yourself.
Oh, good. So here's the Conjuration
Require
fellow.
assistance
She's the
with
Destruction
summoning
one. There's kind of one for each school.
These also the summoning of undead is even less advisable outside the college. Take a look.
Anything useful? No. I'm hoping for some summon spells here, but not really, no. Maybe someone else will have them. I think what spells they have are pretty much randomized.
Now, if you'll excuse me.
Here's the Illusion one.
You can see me? Confound it all, I was quite sure
He's
I
a
was
master of
invisible.
illusion, but he's also
Or
an
at
idiot for
least
some reason.
transparent.
I'll ask more about these things later on, but now I'm just kind of getting the lay of the land. Conjure Familiar on that. I'm really hoping for some Flame Atronak ones, but oh well. I guess I could take that. One of the main reasons I avoid these zombie spells usually is that they give me too much experience, which I don't really want, compared to Atronachs, which give small amounts.
It's lies. All of it.
So,
I don't care what she told you.
This is
It's
something
all
that Hjalti is more
lies.
familiar with. This is a kind of backstabbing and whatnot going on here.
For all
But there's no
that,
option to play
don't
along.
act like she didn't say anything. I know her, and I know what she's been up to.
Very interesting.
Time, I would like
So,
to make a few statements
all of the
regarding
High Elves here hate each other.
My problem with her, she's the one who has a problem with me. She's threatened by me, by my skill as a wizard, by my elegance and posture, by my superior good looks. But she is not going to get the better of me. Oh no. She's trying to undermine my confidence, make me doubt myself. Well, it won't work, I tell you. Until next
He
time.
would ask that it please not happen again. He
Oh,
has
little meeting
suggested
here.
that, should he find out who is responsible, he is well versed in making things disappear permanently.
So Nuria is completely worthless for all
Mirabelle does a fine
purposes.
job as
This
master.
guy's useful
Give you
though.
a bit of advice.
Still, there's
You
always
want to
more.
work on something that's not...
He says that in front of all the
allowed,
teachers. He probably should not do that.
Don't tell anyone you're doing it. You need something you're not officially supposed to have? You come see me.
Ooh.
You tell anyone that I told
Restoration
you,
is a
I'll
perfect
fry you from the inside out.
Don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
Even with the college's laid-back attitude, there are still some things that are off limits. There are some experiments the college
Trying to get into his
frowns
dialogue,
upon,
but it's
if
glitching up a
they're
little bit.
aware of them, of course. If you ever need something, especially something...
That sounds good.
All right, let's not overdo it.
Hopefully he has some moon sugar for
My
me.
quarters.
Alright, well, off he goes. So Nuria is completely worthless. She doesn't teach you anything, doesn't sell you anything, doesn't train you in anything, doesn't become a follower, has no quest related to her, no role in the game. So there's really only one thing to do with her. Murder her and rip those expert destruction robes off her smoldering corpse, because they are not leveled. At level 1, she sells expert robes that you won't find for another 30 levels. They're amazing. Can't justify it in this role-playing run, but good idea for anybody who's not doing a role-playing run. I like this character. Only 200 gold to get back to the college after murdering somebody, so it's a good price for expert robes of destruction.
Angry Atronox. Now, do you require assistance? I know what you want. Word travels fast
well, that's
around
not
here.
Good.
Discovered some big mystery, huh? Well, you don't even need to ask. No, I don't have anything for you. Not anymore, anyway. I said not anymore. Orthorn stole a number of books when he ran off to Felglow Keep to join those summoners. Some kind of peace offering. I think one of those volumes may have had some relevant
Good thing this guy's
information.
memory is
If
so
you want
perfect for
them,
everything in this
you'll have to
entire
talk to
library.
Orthorn. Not enough to bother with. Archmage Aaron's approach to these things is just to let them sort themselves out.
So everything I've seen about Aaron so far suggests that he's totally incompetent and not qualified for this kind of job at all. And too lazy to get it done.
He was an apprentice here at the college. Not very skilled, but got involved with a group of mages who took a liking to him. When they left, he took off after them. Stole supplies and books from the college. I suppose as a way to ingratiate himself. Let's just call it a difference of opinion with the college. They were interested in research that goes outside the bounds of what the college allows, so they were persuaded to leave.
Well, now, that is interesting. He only buys and sells books, so not terribly useful to me. Oh, the Thalmor is there. Maybe he'll go away if I just sit here and read for a little while. Well, all this talk of books and getting information from them has reminded me of this book I've been carrying around for a long time, which in turn reminds me I should go do what the Greybeards want. The Book of the Dragonborn, by Prior Emmeline Madrine, Order of Talus, Waynon Priory. Featured in Oblivion. Year 360 of the Third Era, 21st of the reign of His Majesty Pelagius IV. For those who don't know, Pelagius III was the mad one who's more interesting. Pelagius IV is just some guy. Many people have heard the term Dragonborn. We are of course ruled by the Dragonborn Emperors, but the true meaning of the term is not commonly understood. For those of us in the Order of Talus, this is a subject near and dear to our hearts, and in this book I will attempt to illuminate the history and significance of those known as Dragonborn, down through the ages. Most scholars agree that the term was first used in connection with the Covenant of Akatosh, when the blessed Saint Alicia was given the Amulet of Kings, and the dragonfires in the Temple of the One were first lit. Akatosh, looking with pity upon the plight of men, drew precious blood from his own part, and blessed Saint Alessia with the blood of dragons, and made a covenant that so long as Alessia's generations were true to the dragon blood, Akatosh would endeavor to seal tight the gates of oblivion and to deny the armies of Daedra and the undead to their enemies, the Daedra-loving Aeliids. He did a sucky job of that, because people summoned armies of Daedra all the time. Those blessed by Akatosh with the dragon blood became known more simply as Dragonborn. The connection with the rulers of the Empire was thus there from the beginning. Only those of the dragon blood were able to wear the Amulet of Kings and light the dragon fires. All the legitimate rulers of the Empire have been Dragonborn. The emperors and empresses of the First Cyrodiilic Empire founded by Alessia, Riemann Cyrodiil and his heirs, and of course Tiber Septim and his heirs, down to our current emperor, His Majesty Pelagius Septim IV. Because of this connection with the emperors, however, the other significance of the Dragonborn has been obscured and largely forgotten by all but scholars and those of us dedicated to the service of the blessed Talus, who was Tiber Septim. Very few realize that being Dragonborn is not a simple matter of heredity. Being the blessing of Akatosh himself, it is beyond our understanding exactly how and why it is bestowed. Those who become emperor and light the dragonfires are sure the Dragonborn. The proof is in the wearing of the amulet and the lighting of the fires. But were the Dragonborn thus able to do these things, or was the doing of the sign of the blessing of Akatosh descending upon them? All that we can say is that it is both and neither, a divine mystery. The line of Septims have all been Dragonborn, of course, which is one reason the simplistic notion of it being hereditary has become so commonplace. But we know for certain that the early Cyrodiilic rulers were not all related. There is also no evidence that Riemann Cyrodiil was descended from Alessia, although there are many legends that would make it so, most of them dating from the time of Riemann and likely attempts to legitimize his rule. We know that the Blades, usually thought of as the Emperor's bodyguards, originated in Akaviri Crusaders who invaded Tamriel for obscure reasons in the late First Era. They appear to have been searching for a Dragonborn. The events at Pale Pass bear this out. and the Akaviri were the first to proclaim Riemann Cyrodiil as Dragonborn. In fact, it was the Akaviri who did the most to promote his standing as emperor, although Riemann himself never took that title in his lifetime. And of course, there is no known hereditary connection between Tiber Septim and any of the previous Dragonborn rulers of Tamriel. Whether there can be more than one Dragonborn at any time is another mystery. The emperors have done their best to dismiss this notion, but of course the imperial succession itself means that at the very least there are 2 or more potential Dragonborns at any time, the current ruler and his or her heirs. The history of the Blades also hints at this, although little is known of their activities during the interregnum between Raymond's empire and the rise of Tiber Septim, which is basically the entire Second Era. Many believe that the Blades continued to search out and guard those they believed were, or might be, Dragonborn during this time. Lastly, we come to the question of the true meaning of being Dragonborn. The connection with dragons is so obvious that it has almost been forgotten. In these days when dragons are a distant memory, we forget that in early days, being Dragonborn meant having the dragon blood. Some scholars believe that was meant quite literally, although the exact significance is not known. The Nords tell tales of Dragonborn heroes who were great dragon slayers, able to steal the power of the dragons they killed. That stuff is all new, made up for Skyrim. Indeed, it is well known that the Akaviri sought out and killed many dragons during their invasion. This part has been around forever. And there is some evidence that this continued after they became Riemann Cyrodiil's Dragon Guard. Again, the connection to dragons. The direct predecessor to the Blades of today. I leave you with what is known as the prophecy of the Dragonborn. It is often said to originate in an Elder Scroll, although it is sometimes also attributed to the ancient Akaviri. Many have attempted to decipher it, and many have also believed that its omens had been fulfilled and that the advent of the last Dragonborn was at hand. I make no claims as an interpreter of prophecy, but it does suggest that the full, true significance of Akatosh's gift to mortal kind has yet to be fully understood. When misrule takes its place at the 8 corners of the worlds, when the brass tower walks and time is reshaped, when the thrice blessed fail and the red tower trembles, when the Dragonborn ruler loses his throne and the white tower falls, when the snow tower lies sundered, kingless, bleeding, the World Eater wakes and the wheel turns upon the last Dragonborn. So for those who don't know, misrule taking its place at the 8 corners of the world refers to the incompetent rule of Jagar Tharn in Arena, who was the usurper, and the 8 provinces around the outside of Tamriel. The brass tower walking and time being reshaped means Numidium being reactivated at the end of Daggerfall, cause like a time break kind of thing. The thrice blessed of the Tribunal, who were killed off or went into exile after the end of Morrowind. The red tower trembling means Red Mountain erupting. Dragonborn really losing his throne and White Tower falls means, the death of the last Dragonborn Emperor, Uriel Septim, then Martin Septim, and the White Gold Tower ceasing to be the seat of the Empire. The Snow Tower is Skyrim, now in civil war, so sundered. And the wheel means Arbus, all creation, often called a wheel, especially in Morrowind. Well, the Thalmor isn't gone, but perhaps I can just simply brush by him.
You there. I have questions for you. You were in Saarthal, yes?
He says he has questions, but doesn't really ask any.
That something was found there. I am well aware. Tolfdir is still in Saarthal, is he? I shall be expecting a full report from him when he returns.
I'll just brush him off and leave. Plenty of mages around to make sure he doesn't kill Tolfdir, so not too worried about that. Well, Enther should be waiting in... unless that's Enther. Enther.
Even with the college's laid... Meet me in my quarters.
Get back to my quarters, please, or your quarters. Come on, man. Ugh, he's being annoying. Whatever. I know he doesn't truly sell moon sugar, so it's not terribly useful to me. If he won't go there, he won't go there. So I'll go back to my quarters and I'll... Oh. Hired thugs. So they're here to murder me, but they decided to attack in the middle of this court full of mages, so they're dopes. I'll make them fight each other. I'll summon up my own Flame Atronach here. These guys are toast. I've never seen this happen before. So, hired thugs appear when somebody, when you steal from somebody or kill somebody. They send thugs after you. Survivors or relatives, yeah. Helmets are useful. You can find out who it is when you, kill them and take their weapons and whatnot often. Great. So I'll just find the notes on their smoldering corpses over here. Yeah, we'll take that and sell it. There's the contract out for my head. Although it actually isn't. They're not told to kill you, but they will always kill you. So, who knows? Well, let's see who wants to kill me today. Here is the agreed upon amount. I expect you to faithfully carry out my request to teach a lesson to the thief Hjalti Montrose. You need not kill him, but have no qualms about it if you deem it necessary. Talon J. He's the assistant innkeeper person down in Riften, where I stole like a 2 gold piece wheel of cheese. So he spent 300 gold to have 3 thugs go out and murder me. Get in line, Talon J. Alright, here I go. I've never had that quest happen twice, and people often say that only one guy comes after you if you've only done theft, not murder, but that's completely false. It's always 3 guys, as far as I've seen. There's Enter. Alright, I just need to kind of wait for him to walk around to where he needs to go, and then he'll buy and sell things with me. Many valuables I can steal or otherwise acquire around in these rooms, but I don't really need them right now. I don't want to antagonize people just yet. Here we go. Man, he walks so slowly. These rooms are not really specific to individual people. They kind of wander around room to room at random. Up he goes so slowly. But yeah, he's a fairly versatile merchant. Sells all kinds of things that you can't buy anywhere else, just not moon sugar. And later on in the Thieves Guild quest, it's important for that one too. Well, moderately. Alright.
There are some... I hope you've got some coin. Let's just take a look then.
So, too expensive to be worthwhile. He sells things at a very high price. Conjure Familiar, still not really what I'm going after here. I luckily found one of these things. He's kind of only their source of them, generally speaking. He sells basic destruction stuff, but I already have most of that, so it's not useful. One of a few sources of black soul gems, which are very, very good. But he'll also buy and sell everything, so let me unload some of this junk on him. Kind of the only versatile merchant here at the college. Offload all these heavy things. Don't need any of those. Don't really need these. And they're moderately useful, we don't need them. Just tossing everything at this point. Take this and have one of those. Great.
Till next time.
Enther is my kind of guy. He's sneaky.
I understand you're the one that found this orb in Saarthal.
Maybe I can follow up about that.
Well, you're certainly no more than anyone else, I don't think.
Around the corner.
They're a very old order. Predated the Imperial Mages Guild by quite a bit.
By the entirety of the First Era,
the Mages
specifically.
Guild was founded in opposition to the idea
so like 3,000 years.
Only an elite few should have control.
I already said that.
No one has seen or heard from them in over 100 years now, though.
Maybe a good time to check about this
I
thing.
understand there are no expectations. This college is a place to study and practice. Hopefully any discoveries made in your pursuits will be shared with the members of the college first. That way we all benefit.
What's the catch? Hjalti's trying to figure out what that could mean in doublespeak. He's not used to people being straightforward and letting you just do what you want. Well, I'm going to have a quick dinner in here. Or lunch, or whatever you want to call it. Some Lord mead, some heavy amounts of cheese there, sweet roll. Low on meat. Maybe a pheasant. No, that was raw. Oops. That was the cooked variety. And then he's tired, so he's going to sleep about 12 hours until dawn of the next day. And then he's going to head out toward the Svelglo Keep place. After breakfast, of course. I had so much trouble making this video. All kinds of things went wrong. I fell through floors, or like computer crashed at the last moment after I'd made like an hour or so of recording. Here's the students. You can do quests from them now to recruit them, but I don't really want to do that.
Skyrim still has such fine people.
So, out I go. Eat a quick breakfast out here. Mead, and an apple pie, and bread, and more cheese. And then I'll leave these corpses rotting there and head out across the bridge. Alright. Well, the journey to Svelglo Keep and the battle there is a story for next time. Hope you all enjoyed this video. Kill a bunch of undead this time, bring the total back to where it ought to be. Have a great day, everyone.